The committee now moves consideration of H.R. 4305, Destroying Unnecessary, Misaligned, and Prohibitive Red Tape Act of 2025, or the Dump Red Tape Act, introduced by the Representative Weed. The clerk report the bill.
H.R. 4305, a bill to direct the Chief
Without
Counsel.
objection, H.R. 4305 is considered as read and open for amendment. The bill's sponsor, Representative Weed, has an amendment in the nature of a substitute at the desk. The amendment has been distributed in advance. The clerk will report the amendment.
Amendment in the nature of a substitute to H.R.
Okay, without objection, the amendment is considered as read, and the substitute will be considered in base text for the purpose of further amendment. I now recognize the bill's sponsor, Representative Weed from the great state of Wisconsin, for a statement on the bill and the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. After suffering through 4 years of regulatory onslaught by the Biden administration, totaling nearly $1.8 trillion in new costs and requiring an additional 360 million hours to comply with these new regulations, small businesses are desperate for regulatory relief. In response, earlier this year, the Small Business Administration created the Red Tape Hotline under its Office of Advocacy. This hotline gives small businesses a seat at the table to highlight the prohibitive red tape regulations from across federal agencies that hurt their ability to grow and compete. My bill, H.R. 4305, the Destroying Unnecessary, Misaligned, and Prohibitive Red Tape Act, codifies the SBA's Red Tape Hotline. It also requires annual reports to Congress from the Office of Advocacy detailing the most burdensome regulations for small business owners and what the steps the SBA has taken to advocate on their behalf. This bill is a common-sense way to gather input directly from the people most harmed by over-regulation. I urge all of my colleagues to support this important piece of legislation and stand with America's small businesses. And with that, I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. Are there any other members who wish to be recognized for a statement on the bill?
Mr. Chairman.
Representative Musser, Pennsylvania, recognized.
May I be recognized? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. H.R. 4305, the Dump Red Tape Act. I commend my colleague, Mr. Weed, for introducing. I do think, however, it should have been named the Dump Blue Tape Act. Anyway, it requires the SBA Office of Advocacy to codify the Red Tape Hotline and submit an annual report to Congress and Administrator Loeffler. This will provide small businesses with an outlet to report arbitrary and unnecessary regulations, as stated, directly to Congress and the public. Small businesses are the backbone of the U.S. economy, generating 44% of economic activity and employing over 60% of the workforce. Yet under the Biden administration, small businesses were forced to navigate a complex regulatory landscape, resulting in $1.7 trillion in new regulatory costs and over 300 million hours of paperwork. These burdens ultimately fell on small businesses, limiting their ability to innovate, grow, and compete. So the Red Tape Hotline demonstrates that the Trump administration and Republicans want to hear directly from small businesses about the regulatory challenge they are facing. Unlike the Biden administration, we will continue delivering for small businesses by increasing transparency, promoting pro-growth policies, and streamlining communications. I urge my colleagues to support the bill, and I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. Are there any other members who wish to be recognized for a statement on the bill? Seeing none, I'd like to recognize the ranking member to speak on the bill and the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to express my opposition to H.R. 4305. While this bill is less objectionable than other anti-regulatory bills we have considered this Congress, it is simply not necessary. To begin with, a deregulatory hotline already exists on regulations.gov. Establishing another creates duplication and drains SBA resources. More concerning, the proposal hasn't been vetted properly. In the first 100-day report, advocacy indicated there were 96 small business submissions, yet despite repeated requests for more detailed information, advocacy has failed to provide any specific information about this request. We have no way of knowing if the submissions are related to rules. They could have easily been about tariffs or unpaid invoices to contractors. That is why I cannot support it. We have no information, and the bill is more slogan than substance, ignoring other federal actions that are harming small businesses. We have heard testimony that small businesses are not talking about regulations. It ranks near the bottom of their list of concerns. Inflation, tariffs, and finding good employees are some of the top challenges facing small businesses. Take a walk down Main Street, and you will hear the same concern from small business owners up and down the block. The uncertainty and rising costs tied to the Trump tariffs are crushing their small businesses, plain and simple. And to the best of my knowledge, advocacy has not weighed in with the administration, which raises concerns over their lack of independence from the administration. I recall the many times the administrator from the Biden administration came here to testify. And, she was castigated, asking her if she talked to Joe Biden, the president, about the impact of taxes on them. Well, now my question is the administrator is discussing with Donald Trump the impact that tariffs is having on small businesses, or health care subsidy expirations. How will that impact small businesses? Instead of looking for ways to address inflation, tariffs, and labor shortages, this bill is narrowly drafted to focus on rolling back rules that protect our health, environment, and safety. Turning to the specifics, the bill lacks adequate reporting mechanisms to identify who is making the submissions, leaving it vulnerable to abuse. Advocacy has come under fire for doing the bidding of big businesses in the past, and there are no reporting requirements in this bill to distinguish between a small business, trade association, or law firm. And the bill focuses only on the cost of regulations, not the benefits, which is only one half of the equation. We need to look at both sides of the ledger. And by doing so, we will see that the benefits of the rule greatly outweigh the costs. For this reason, I plan to oppose the bill. With that said, we can get the specific information from advocacy as to what small businesses are actually submitting on the hotline and a better understanding of the mechanics of the hotline to ensure independence between SBA and advocacy. I may be then willing to work with you on this bill. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Are there any other members who wish to be recognized for a statement on the bill?
Mr. Chair,
Recognized.
thank you very much. I support this bill. I think the intentions are pure, and whenever we've had witnesses in this committee, we've asked how many of you want more bureaucrat issues, more regulations, more rules, more redundancy, more impact on small businesses. Every one of them said, the federal government, stay off our backs, get out of our pockets, let us live the American dream and work in our communities. Mr. Weed understands that in his town of Wisconsin. I understand that in northern Minnesota. This bill is a very good bill. It's a good start to make sure that they have the opportunity to succeed. And the gentle lady, the ranker, talks about, asking small businesses beforehand. Well, I say, the Unaffordable Care Act, you never ask small businesses. They're damaged because of that. Mr. Weed, this is a very good piece of legislation, and I support it. I commend you for bringing it up. This is what the small business is for, to make sure that the men and women across this nation who risk everything to succeed, this is one of those pieces of legislation that I'm in favor of, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. I now recognize myself to speak in support of this legislation. H.R. 4305, the Dump Red Tape Act, codifies the red tape hotline launched by the SBA Office of Advocacy on March 10th, 2025, the hotline gives small businesses a direct line to SBA advocacy to report burdensome regulations that are holding them back. It further enhances our ability to combat job crushing and red tape by requiring the Office of Advocacy to bring this feedback straight to Congress. And by empowering small business to speak up to federal agencies accountable, this bill will strengthen our commitment to pro-growth, pro-innovation economy. It is necessary to get the government out of the way so that our small business owners can do what they do best. I urge my colleagues to vote yes on H.R. 4305, and I yield back. Now, does anyone wish to offer an amendment?
Mr. Chairman,
So moved, recognized.
I have an amendment